what's up, everybody? Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended. I'm Kim. This is Tyler, and it is Thursday. Gay Thursday. What?
My favorite.
Yeah. Hope everyone's had a fantastic day so far. And, the weekend is just around the corner. Thank God. It's been a long ass week. So thank you for everybody who decided to click on that little button and sit with us and listen to some things that we have to say about the craziness going on in the world today. We love and appreciate all of you.
All right. Anyways, all right. So let's get into. So we're going to be talking about the Keffals. If anyone doesn't know, she's a Twitch streamer. She talks about like news and politics on Twitch. And so she was recently swatted. And I'll come right out and say it. Swatting, if we'll talk about it, but swatting is super dangerous. And anyone that gets swatted, anyone that has that happen to, the perpetrator, I think that should be like an attempted murder charge.
Oh, 100%.
So we'll get into that whole story. And
we're gonna swat people like flies. It's not okay.
We're going to look at kind of a different position because she is now threatening to sue the police in regards to how they were acting. And so we're going to talk about the impossible situation that police are kind of thrown into. And trust me, I've thrown my own hate quite often at the police. So we'll get into this. We'll talk about it, and in conjunction with this, the walking insanity, the hyper contradiction that is Jagmeet Singh. I repeat myself, but it's is now coming to the defense of this, and is now becoming an issue, even though this has been an issue for well over a decade. So we're going to get into that. And then Justin Trudeau is a fucking sociopath. And I'm going to prove why. Demonstrable proof. So we'll talk about that and a bunch of other craziness. But of course, before we get into that, or before we get into our stories and everything else, we are here Monday to Thursday, 8 o'clock Central on Rumble. We're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. Obviously, we're on Spotify. You can check out the audio. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You know what? Let's get into hit the intro. Let's go. They don't produce anything. They don't do anything. I don't sleep while our beds are burning. How can we dance when our earth is turning? All right. So let's get into this first one. So we've talked about this many a time about maps and how they've basically infiltrated the Rainbow Society, and basically that's all the Rainbow Society has become. That it's no longer LGBT. Well, they wanted LGBT. They wanted to throw the pedo. They want to throw the pedo in there. So we have a clinical psychologist. Let's just play this first video because this is, this chick looks like someone that would be advocating for pedophiles. So.
Ooh, can't wait. All right, let's check this shit out, shall we?
Hi, folks. My name is Miranda. I use she, her pronouns.
Oh, hi,
and I'm
Miranda.
a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture.
I wonder why.
Most folks
let's just stop it right there. Stop it right there. They are the most vilified people in society. I think that's, call me crazy, but why is there such a big focus on children with these people? And what do you mean by these people? These weirdos. Weirdos.
What is what is the big attraction? Hello, the pedophiles and stuff like that are trying to make it okay so then they can actually be around children instead of being feared around children.
I don't mean that. I mean, why is this such a focus of the Rainbow Society? Why is that such a focus? Or should I should more specifically say I don't know. I guess there was that gay video that says like, hey, we're coming for your kids. We're coming for your kids. And if you don't like it, I'll just molest them like this chick's trying to advocate for. All right. I think that's how the lyrics went for Eminem.
Yeah.
In that case. No, but there was an actual, like, there was a gay I'm sure it was like a parody thing. Like, oh, we're coming for your kids. Well, like, yeah. Have you ever heard the thing like truth in jest? Have you ever heard that?
No, but I have heard that 50% of what people joke about is actual reality. It's just a way for them to get out what they say or want to say without it being taken seriously.
Well, no, but it's the idea of like you making a truthful statement. Like if I say, hey, you know, this chick, she'd make a great bowling ball because of how smooth her head is. The only reason why a joke works. Only reason why a joke works is because there is some element of truth to it. So that's the truth in jest.
Well, I think instead of a bowling ball, she looks more like one of those ones that you would throw up against one of those Velcro pads back and forth. I mean, it looks pretty stubbly up there.
Yeah, with the midgets and their outfits. We've already talked about that. We already talked about midget tossing and how apparently it's outlawed. What bunch of dicks. All right. So anyways, let's continue. I find it interesting. Why is there such a focus on kids? Why? That is a genuine question I have. Why is this group so unbelievably focused on, we need to talk to your children? It's not, let me talk with my children. I need to talk to yours. All right, so let's continue with this enabler.
Assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for
There's no assumption when you're literally saying they're minor attracted people.
You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because the term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult.
Pedophile is judgmental and
in order to harm
hurtful.
them or slander them. I also prefer person-first language that recognizes
it's too offensive.
Any label we might apply to a person
well, truth is offensive.
Who they are and doesn't represent everything.
100%.
We are
this is construction
with many different facets or
this
parts
is what the left does. They don't see the world as it is. They see the world as they want it to be. This is constructivism. You know, we'll get into this more.
Hate speech.
But you see all the cries and all the proclamations of racism, sexism, misogyny, transphobia, which we'll get into. It's now become the supply outpaces the demand. Like there are so much people are just saying, look, racism. Oh, some person didn't shake my hand. Oh, Sesame Street, you're racist because this character didn't hold my kids. Well, the character didn't hold any other kids as well. So, no, but racism. We need more racism instead of the actual thing. So, and I brought this up before, like you've bastardized a word. You made it so insignificant. Pedophiles. No, that is to describe someone that is trying or given the opportunity would do stuff with children. You can't now say, well, that's too offensive. No, it's a fitting moniker. It's a fitting label, as the left likes to do, in order to distinguish someone as a threat or a potential threat.
Which is exactly what they are. Just like I, for one, like I'm part of the City of Winnipeg watch thing from the police. And I enjoy getting the emails when they're letting sex offenders out or pedophiles with a nice little photo of them. So, they're getting out and they have a high chance of reoffending. So then in turn, you can be careful. You can keep your children and yourself safe.
And the issue, the big issue with this, so whether it's a stigma or not, like I understand the stigma and I understand the concerns with regards to this. But it is now trying to be rammed, pun not intended, rammed into society that this is okay, it's encouraged, and you should be willing, open, and accepting of it. I'm a quite tolerant person. I'm a very open and accepting person. Like I will use in the next segment, I'm going to say she, even though she's a biological male. I'm going to say she just to be respectful, because there's no reason to inherently just be disrespectful to someone. But when you are advocating for this, we're on complete different sides of the spectrum here. Like you're on the autism spectrum. I'm over on the maybe Asperger's side. Like you're functionally all right.
Well, you're a burger, right? You're wearing a burger shirt too. But
yeah. All right, let's continue with this.
Can't wait.
Includes folks who are attracted to minors. So to start with, let's talk about what a minor attracted person is or who they are. This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is. You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are.
Oh, wait, you don't get to choose that?
To be a minor
Then why do you have to push it on everyone?
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Fuck.
Some
I'll let her finish that and I'll respond to
are
that.
attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted to adults at all. Some minor attracted persons are also attracted to adults.
So I will tell you the overwhelming majority of child molesters were molested when they were younger. There is a massive amount. The recidivism rate of someone that has molested a child is insanely high, because it is now a part of themselves especially during their formative years. I believe Dr. Chris Ryan. I believe Chris Ryan. He's a sex expert, and he was saying that with boys, their formative years are between about 8 and I believe it was 12. That is their formative years. That's when whatever they find, that will more or less be their attraction. They kind of get hardwired like that. So most boys that end up being molested in that age range, they will be hardwired that is what I am supposed to like. Yes, you can go to therapy, but unfortunately in Canada, you have to affirm. This is going to be the next piece of legislation. I promise you, there's going to be legislation in order to criminalize that MAP is going to be a protected class. I guarantee it. If Trudeau is in power for 2 more years, roughly 2 more years, till 2025, I guarantee there will be legislation pushed forward, or at least put forward, that minor attracted people, pedophiles, would be deemed, they would start to see them as a protected class.
They better not. But that is messed up. If that actually does happen, that is beyond messed up and beyond the realm of my brain comprehending this bullshit.
Yeah, it's all right. So with that, I just wanted to touch on that this is becoming mainstream. You have psychologists, you have counselors, and she works in a prison setting. So she meets these people and is saying, I'm going to advocate that you're a good person. You know, say, O.J. Simpson. They said, oh, well, he's a murderer. He's a murderer. Well, but because he did it once, is he still a murderer? Like he's paid his dues. Is he still a murderer?
You would think that, okay, if someone were to come up to you and express that they're having said feelings for minors and stuff like that, you think you would want to suggest some sort of counseling or something for them to be able to work through these things, because without actually getting proper counseling, they're literally just a time bomb waiting to go off. It's just a matter of time. And you think that you would actually want to help them. But instead, with the psychosis that we got going on in this world lately, people with mental illnesses, it's just let's parade them around and make everybody accept it. And that's okay. Like I remember the guy, I can't remember his name, something Lee or whatever, from the whole Greyhound incident. When he was just allowed to walk around the psych ward on the outside grounds, people were having a conniption about it. Well, and now he's like literally walking free right now. And it's
he's free. He has a name change.
Yeah.
But so you're seeing that type of crazy. Now let's look at this other article from the Daily Dot. This is apparently becoming a TikTok trend. This is like TikTok. Get off TikTok. We should start a segment called TikTok sucks, or get off TikTok is shit. Something. Because this is, remember there was the knockout game. There's all these disgusting trends that are put on TikTok, and all right. Yeah. So anyway, so this is a trend that's starting to catch traction. Try walking on the street and don't move aside for the white people. That's becoming a trend. A woman of color, that's a weird way to spell bitch, on TikTok shared a video of herself refusing to move for white people while walking on a sidewalk. What happened was a shock to viewers. The woman, known as Katie Grace Jacobs, aka bitch, shared the video as a stitch to another TikToker's, Olivia Cho, advice. The latter TikToker shared a viral video advising people of color, aka assholes, especially women, to refuse to move for white people. Okay, I've brought this up before, and I'll say it again. If you insert other words in place of those, and you said, "Ooh, that sounds offensive," you might be a hypocrite. You might be. And the reason why I call I called this chick a bitch is because anyone that would just not like, oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at something. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Literally go, no, what she was doing, she was actually chucking her shoulder into them. So not only wasn't moving out of the way, it was actually hitting them with her shoulder as she passed. So,
see, did you actually see that video?
This is what the reports are saying.
Okay. So
that she was throwing her shoulder into it.
Now, I don't know about that video, but I was trying to actually find the video, and I did find the one where she talks about it. Which I will share with you here.
But so while you throw that up, put any other group of people there. Just put any other group there.
Yeah.
Please.
So
all right, a piece of shit walking in New York City.
Yeah.
In New York City. Okay. I'll say this. New York City is famous for people that I'm going where I gotta go, and get out of my way. That's a lot of what New York City is. It's me, me, me. It's a lot of that. I have places to go. So a lot of people, they're looking either up or they're looking down. And it's a sea of people that are walking, crossing streets.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
So with this video, it's only a 36-second video. So I'm just going to share it with you guys because you get to actually see the type of person that she really is.
Yeah.
Number one thing to try if you're a person of color in New York or anywhere, honestly, really just anywhere, is to try walking on the street and don't move aside for the white people. And if you're a woman, the men. Do not move to the side. Just keep on your path. And this is to see how many of them expect you to move. And you'll be surprised at how many people you bump into because they just don't think it's their responsibility. Like, sir, you can move. I'm not going to move.
Okay, so I was seeing that she was chucking her shoulder into these people.
Well, and I think that's partly into the in the article and stuff too. But I mean, the thing is when you actually listen to what she's saying, okay, she is purposely trying to start something. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm walking and someone bumps into me and you're like, dude, I'm walking here. No.
Do you see the entitlement on her?
Oh, 100%. And I mean, the thing is that the funny thing is that she's literally saying, you know, I think if you're a person of color, you should walk down the street. And if a white person matches you or whatever, don't move. Okay. So what do you do if you get matched with another person of color, not even your color, a different shade? Like, are you gonna move now? You're purposely trying to demonize a white person, saying that, oh, they're entitled. Oh, okay. But are you doing that to a black person? Are you doing that to an East Indian person? Or are you moving the fuck out of the way? So you think that, you know, you're better than them.
Or what gradient of skin color are you going to work with?
Exactly.
Are we going to go to the idea of what, like Africa, where the lighter your skin is, the higher class you are perceived in society? Is that the but you can see the entitlement because, you know, if two guys walked at each other and one guy shoved his shoulder into another guy, you know the other good dude's going to turn around and, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
That shows how entitled she feels.
Well, yeah.
That she knows. Bill Burr said it best. There's no reason to fucking hit a woman.
Are we sure? No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, the thing is, like, if you have anybody, it doesn't matter the color of their skin. If someone's walking towards you and they are purposely like, I ain't gonna move, bitch. And like, think that they're better than everybody else and hot shit. And just like, oh, I'm gonna walk right at you and boom. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care how old you are. I'm gonna be like, bitch, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, can we not both just like, you know, go around each other? You got to just fucking plow at me? Get fucked.
To make a point, to make a nonsensical point. This shows the amount of entitlement that she feels entitled to.
Oh, 100%. Like, this girl's a total bitch.
Okay. What if I made a TikTok of, hey, white men, when you see an Asian minority, don't get out of their way? People would go, dude, that's super racist. Ow, fuck, I just bit my tongue.
Right? But that's the thing, is like, it is 100% racist. And she is literally going out there trying to start shit. It's just
This is a bigot.
Yeah.
This is a bigot. Everyone that calls me a fucking bigot for fucking nothing, this is a bigot. Hating people of a particular group or irrationally hating a particular group. This is the textbook definition of a fucking bigot.
Well, yeah, and she's purposely trying to do something to give herself justification as to why it's okay to hate people. Like, I'm going to do this because they're not going to move and they think they're better than me. I'm going to show them I'm better than they are. Fuck them. You're literally going out there waiting for a fight.
Literally have women that get touched inappropriately on a subway and people ignore it.
Yeah.
So, what? Oh, man. All right, let's check out this video of Justin Trudeau talking about his dead brother and smiling.
That sounds really fucked up. All right.
Was swept away by an avalanche.
If Michelle had decided to stay home and play chess and Nintendo, he would have been fine. But he chose to go out there, and that's what made the difference.
What the hell? They're both smiling.
There was something familiar about the self-confidence of the man at the podium and about the smile of his mother, who hasn't smiled much since her youngest son was swept away by an avalanche.
If Michelle had decided to stay home and play chess and Nintendo, he would have been fine. But he chose to go out there, and that's what made the difference.
There was...
All right.
What the hell?
What in the hell is right? So we have this article here, and of course, anything we do talk about, there will be links down below. Check them out for yourself. Look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. So let's just... The death of Michael Trudeau on February 13th. This is... No one has talked about it. I know the area that this happened in. Anyone that I'll just let the article speak for itself, because this is by an avalanche expert.
Oh, okay.
So on Friday the 13th in November of 1998, occurred due to a freak accident in the Rocky Mountains at a time of the year when snowpacks rarely, if ever, occur. So snowpack is when avalanches occur. In November, you would have to have like late September, early October, and into the second, third week of November of constant snow. An avalanche in the month of November is an unlikely event because snowpacks have not built up sufficiently to create the conditions when avalanches naturally occur. Evan Manners, manager of the Canadian Avalanche Centre in Revelstoke, BC, was quoted as stating that before the Trudeau death, he had never heard of an avalanche pushing someone into the water who then drowned. It's very rare, he told the National Post shortly after the accident. Media stated that police carried out an extensive search, yet the body of Michael Trudeau was never found. A surprising event because the spot where he went under the water is well known, and there were no reported currents in the lake at the time of the drowning. In an interesting coincidence, Michael Trudeau was nearly killed on July 17th in 1998, 5 months previous to his actual death, when his vehicle was broadsided by a truck while driving through Portage the Prairie in Manitoba.
This is super suspicious. For somebody who's like into a lot of fucking true crime, homeboy was young too. He was only 23. And literally the fact that they're smiling, both of them were smiling. That is beyond messed up. Well, if he would have chose to do this and this instead of doing that, I mean...
So... Okay, so I think if there is a retort to this, they could say, well, they're just thinking of people smile when they have a fond memory of someone.
No, yes,
absolutely,
but no.
They do.
Well, yes, but no.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if I was telling a story of, say, like my grandfather, it would be it's a joyous memory. Or say of a friend that I no longer have. It would be, oh my God, I remember that that was so funny when blah did this. You could think of it that way. They're going, no, if he didn't go, if he would have just stayed home and played chess, nothing. But where's the body? Because this is like a sealed body of water. If you look up where this took place, there's not like rivers and stuff that really feed into this place.
Well, and not only that, like, okay, talking about grandparents or loved ones or friends or whatever who have passed away, talking about them now, you could smile about them and just kind of talk about the good times, right? Okay, like we used to do this, we used to do that, and you smile about it. But just right after your brother allegedly dies and you're sitting there smiling saying, well, if he would have chose to do this or this, then, he'd still be here. But he didn't. So, and, it's so weird that, it's in a place where apparently an avalanche, not only is that odd, but, pushing somebody into water and then drowning, but yet there's no body. It's so weird.
Yeah, and the police that searched for him. The police searched for him. They couldn't find a body. I don't know. It's just I don't know. There's some suspicious. Yeah, but it was more the fact of the smiling.
Yeah. It literally, to me, like, okay, this is 100%.
I wonder what Jordan Peterson would say.
This is 100% clearly non-factual and just my
uninformed opinion.
Unprofessional opinion. To me, if I were to write a true crime story on this, to me it almost seems like potentially both of them wanted to go into government, and maybe Daddy liked Michael better and was pushing for him to him to be prime minister more, and JT had to just get him out of the way. Could you go any higher?
No, that's as high as I go. Or he had dirt on them that they didn't want to get out. Maybe it was like some damning information.
That's highly possible
there
too.
Are videos. There's articles talking about how Fidel Castro would pick up the Trudeau boys as though it was like Uncle Castro, we're here. They didn't say that, but it was like that, like an unofficial uncle. Yeah, really, really, really messed up.
I don't know. And the way, if he would have just kept his mouth shut and wasn't, trying to blackmail me so I couldn't get into office, maybe he'd still be here. Oh, I mean, maybe if he was playing board games, fuck.
Yeah. Right?
So suspicious. So suspicious.
All right. So now that we've kind of greased the wheels a little bit, let's talk about this Keffals, Keffals, whatever her name is.
Is it like
Carla?
Clara, a vagine fart?
Like a cunt waffle?
How? What do they call that?
It's a queef, you dink.
Yeah, Keffals. Queef, it sounds very similar.
Queefing Kegels? All right. All right, let's throw up, okay? Come on, serious. This is serious business.
Right.
So why am I bringing this person up? As I said on the outset, so she was part of a swatting event. So for anyone that doesn't know, swatting is when someone makes an anonymous call or tips the police to say, I heard gunshots, say, coming from this address, or say, I'm a friend, and they started shooting, they killed blah, 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 and they have hostages there. So it is an extremely dangerous situation just by that. If the accusation made was true, it's already an extremely dangerous situation to put the police in. Okay? And again, I've called out police enough times.
Police and the victims.
Yeah. But I mean, like in a real hostage situation.
Yeah.
So what happened with her was I guess there was a trans, I don't know, cancel tried to take her out, so to speak.
Oh Jesus.
Threats and the typical internet crap that people do. So there was an email that was sent to the, well, you know what, before I get into that. So Keffals, obviously she's she covers news and politics, and she's a trans activist. Okay,
is she trans?
This was from her, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look, and this is from her Wikipedia page, take that as you will. Okay. I know Wikipedia, they had to lock the recession comment because they couldn't determine what a recession was. Speaking of, before I get into that, I need to make a correction. Okay.
Okay.
The other day we had talked about the ArriveCan developer that made $10 million.
Okay.
I lied. And I'm sorry. I lied. It was one of 5 and they got 14 million. Sorry, I got the number wrong. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first before we carry on. I need to clear my conscience on that.
I'm glad you came forward with the misinformation that you spouted.
No. Okay, so we'll talk about this. But you know what? Before we get into that, hit the likes button, hit the subscribe button. Should we maybe give it a little bit more?
Feed me all night long.
I fucking love that.
All right. So this is according to our Wikipedia page. So Clara Sorrenti is better known as Keffals, is a Canadian Twitch streamer, socialist, former Communist Party of Canada candidate, and a trans activist. Okay, that's according to our Wikipedia page. The reason why I'm that's what Wikipedia is saying. But she apparently has come out in opposition to the Communist Party of Canada, and this was a tweet from her, that the Communist Party of Canada was attempting to cover up their central organizer sexually harassing a trans member of their youth branch.
Nice.
Why does the Communist branch of Canada have a youth group? But
why wouldn't they? I mean, let's come on. It's all about the children these days. I mean, just good old fashioned adulting is just nay. Just doesn't hit those likes. I don't know.
Like Hitler's youth, you got to get them early, right?
Ew.
All right. Anyways, all right. So this is from NME, which is a video game type thing. So Twitch streamer Clara Sorrenti raided by armed police in transphobic swatting incident. Well, they're not coming with fucking hugs and kisses. I'll tell you that much.
Shit, they don't? Here, that's what I thought swatting was. I thought they were, when you had a lot of mosquitoes around, you'd call them and they just come swat all the bugs.
Oh, yeah,
that would be nice.
All right, so in a video posted to her YouTube channel, Sorrenti detailed a harrowing experience with London police, London, Ontario, obviously. Well, maybe I shouldn't say obviously, because
obviously,
where they raided her home, armed. No shit. Yeah, they better be fucking armed with a supposed homicide, hostage situation. Yeah. After every city councillor in the city of Ontario received an email stating that she possesses an illegal weapon, had killed her mother, and planned to go to City Hall and shoot every cisgender person in sight. Okay.
Oh my God.
This was the email that the Ottawa or London police had received. Okay. After being taken into custody, she claims the police took email seriously despite it being riddled with grammatical errors and appearing more like something a troll would say.
Okay.
Already, I have a big fucking problem with those statements right there.
Okay, before I say what I was going to say, what's your issue?
Okay, so regardless if it's an email riddled with grammatical errors, what does that matter? Like, at some point does it need to come through as, my name is Clara Sorrenti. My address is 123 Fake Street, and gives an elaborate, well punctuated.
I am so educated.
Bing? Did you use the Microsoft paperclip to, okay, can you spell check this, buddy?
No, I used the thesaurus to use some big fancy words. See that makes no sense. Like when I heard that, I'm like, okay, who cares if it had grammatical errors? Like I'm a smart person, but I tell you, my spelling and my grammar fucking sucks. Okay, you probably look like a fucking 13-year-old did it. But that literally has absolutely nothing to do with it. Like, they don't know this person. So how are they supposed to know? Well, this seems a little unsophisticated for the sophistication level and the IQ that we know nothing about. Like, that's just dumb. It sounds like something a troll would say. Well, to be fair, you could say that about a lot of serial killers or a lot of pieces of shit people. Like, that's exactly what they're doing, is they're trolling the police that come get me, come find me. Like, it's, come on, you'll never find
or
it.
what about the the newspaper clippings that they use to make a rant letter? I'm sure it's not grammatically perfect. No, the message is clear what's going on here. So she continues on with the email also stated her name but referred to her as dead name, her before she had her name changed. The term a transgender, blah, blah, blah. So she believes this was an attempt to make the police humiliate her. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so with this being said, so already, the grammatical errors, irrelevant. 100% irrelevant. Something a troll would say? Okay, so, all right. Okay. That let's look at it in terms of the police. Okay? They get an anonymous email with regards to someone saying that I killed my mother. I plan on going to City Hall and killing all the cisgender people in City Hall. Okay? Think you just got that message and it's your duty to respond to it. Okay?
Do you really think they're going to be like, well, this punctuation's in the wrong spot here. I don't buy it. Seems a little suspicious.
But so they gave her dead name.
Okay, and so
if
what?
But if they don't know who you are, like if they say, "Oh, it's George Smith," and if they end up going to this property and they say, "Where's George Smith? Where's George Smith? We got an anonymous tip about George Smith," and she goes, "That's my dead name. You're offending me."
Right?
Like, no, they don't give a fuck. They're trying to stop a potential mass shooting event, and they're and reports that someone has already been killed. That's the position the police are in.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings, criminal. I mean, it's all about your feelings, even though you just killed a bunch of people. Obviously, you didn't, but you know what I mean? Like, exactly. They're not going to know, for one. And two, okay, a lot of people... Not a lot of people who are transgender and stuff suffer from something called what? Gender dysphoria. So they have.
I don't want to get into that.
No.
I don't want to get into that.
You don't know what I'm about to say. Shh.
Okay, well then what?
Okay, but the thing is, like, when something like that, we talk about suicide rates and something like that. Okay, a lot of people who have transitioned aren't happy with the transition.
They don't know that. That's the thing. They don't know who this person is. That's the point that I'm making. I'm trying to come from the police perspective in this situation. They don't know who this person is. If they see George Smith is at this residence and is ready to kill people, that's all. That's what I'm saying, because we have so much shit to get through, and
Okay, carry on.
This sounds like. All right, so she continues with the fact that a fake email led to London police services booking me under my dead name reveals the prejudice that many police have towards transgender people. I would say if they don't know, obviously I was not there. But if the police are saying, hey, this is the name that we have, maybe they don't know. Maybe initially they don't know who you are. Sorrenti said before holding a property bag clearly labeled Roberts, which was her surname prior to legally changing in 2012. Okay, I will agree with that. Yeah, that's kind of a shitty thing to do, cops. But if they're just entering stuff in, if how they initially booked you, maybe that's just what's on it. Okay. Sorrenti took her mother's maiden name, blah blah blah. Who cares? Sorrenti then discussed a search warrant which she held. Okay. A search warrant she held in her hand and stated that the police were looking for a handgun, ammunition, cartridges, cleaning tools, and a gun case, cell phones, and computers. Why would they be looking for cell phone and computers, Kim? Could you guess maybe why they were looking for cell phone and computers?
I don't know.
Because it was an email.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Never thought of that.
Seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems a little reasonable that, yeah, they would try and confiscate this to ensure that, hey, did this come from these devices? She then revealed the electronics of hers were taken, including both personal and work phones, and the computer she uses to stream on her Twitch channel. Seems completely reasonable. Right? Her fiance's phone, laptop, and external hard drives were taken too. Seems completely reasonable because there was also allegations that there might be kitty pictures on it.
Oh, geez.
That was my understanding from what I was reading with this. Seems reasonable, right?
Yes.
So Sorrenti claims that due to the negligence of the police, both her and her partner were left functionally unemployed for a day, having to spend thousands to replace the seized electronics. Yeah. The police released Sorrenti without charges, okay? But without her devices, she could not communicate the events to anyone close to her. She claims that some of her accounts are still inaccessible due to the police retaining the devices that received her two-factor authentication information. Okay?
Okay.
So I wanted to ask this. What are the police supposed to do in this situation when they get an anonymous email saying what was said on it with the allegations that happened? So they have a thing called is reasonable suspicion. And what are they supposed to do? Wait for a warrant? No, they have a notice that I'm about to start shooting motherfuckers. Right? And what are they supposed to do? When they come to the house, hey, you know what? All the lights are off. That doesn't mean anything. Right? Like that you would I think it would be reasonable to assume that if a police officer, say, goes to a house and all the lights are off, they might go, oh, crap, we need lights or something so that we can illuminate and see what's going on so that we don't get ambushed by a potential psycho person.
Makes sense.
So I'm trying to look at from the police's perspective. They are in an impossible situation. They are trying to limit harm. They are trying to get to the bottom of, okay, did you send this information? No. Oh, it came from someone else. Here's your stuff back. Okay. They ended up giving her stuff back. So this was a statement from the police chief, Steve Williams of London, Ontario. And I wanted to read this little part. I do, however, wish to address the concerns raised regarding our interactions with Clara Sorrenti, who was a subject of that investigation. It has come to my attention that Miss Sorrenti was referred to during her time in London police custody by an incorrect name and gender. Okay? We acknowledge the distress this caused Miss Sorrenti, and we will be reviewing the occurrence to understand how that might have happened. At this time, we are still in the process of gathering information, blah, 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 blah. And of course, their inclusive statement, we work closely with Alphabet Soup community, blah, blah, blah. All right. So I wanted to look into, because swatting isn't a new thing. We have this from Police One. Miley Cyrus has been swatted twice. Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Ashton Kutcher. Think of how many YouTube streamers, how many Twitch streamers have been swatted. I remember the Creatures. I know. If anyone knows who the Creatures are, way back when they got raided live on stream, and they were sitting there playing video games, and they had cops, hands up, don't move. We got reports of a fucking mass shooting here in this office. So they cuffed everyone. They figured out what's going on, and then they released everyone. This Tim Pool was swatted, 9 times? Jeremy from the Cording was swatted at least once, maybe twice. There are tons of people that have been swatted. And in fact, there's been reports where cops have gone into places with this situation exactly happening, and they have shot and killed someone. It is an extremely dangerous situation. So again, I guess we can continue. So Krebs is a former Washington Post reporter who covers cybersecurity. Swatting is when someone makes a call to the police department with a false story in a crime in progress, often with killing or hostages involved, in an attempt to draw a large number of police officers to a particular address. Such as when SWAT teams arrived as a gamer in Colorado was live streaming. Wichita police said swatting led to the shooting of a man in Wichita on Thursday night. Andrew Finch, 28, was shot and killed by a Wichita police officer when police responded to a false report of a killing and a hostage situation.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and we've talked about this. Online gamers said the person who made the swatting call was given the wrong address, by his intended victim. So a guy on Call of Duty was saying, "Yo, bitch, want to fight me? Here's my address. Come find me." And the guy swatted him.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I remember that one now. That wasn't that long ago that we talked about it. That's right.
Yeah. So she said her son, who was not armed, screamed when he saw a police officer and was shot. Okay. So this is the situation that you are potentially I am 100. I'll say I'm about 75% on her side. The swatting thing, whoever does that should be charged, should be found and strung up by their nuts.
100%. I mean, that's literally, you used to get in trouble, and you still do get in trouble for making false police phone calls or calling the police and hanging up. Like, you used to get in so much shit for that. You get fined for that. I remember my parents freaking out at me once because I dialed 911 and then I hung up. And then, of course, what happens? They call back and I don't answer, and then they show up at the house and you're like, shit. Like, it's a waste of money, resources. Somebody else can die by you playing a stupid game.
Yeah. So all right. So we can continue with. So this was a statement on her Twitter. So as for Sorrenti, she admitted that she was shaken. Totally agree, and will likely remain traumatized for the near future. Totally agree. I don't minimize that, but isn't going to let hate rule the day. I'm not backing down. I know that the work I do is incredibly valuable, and thousands of trans people told me that I have people almost every day saying they came out to their families because of me. Great. I hope those people get the help that they desperately need in order for them to live a happy and productive life. That is what I want. So why am I bringing this story up? Okay, now that you have some context in what happened with the story, and maybe shed a bit of a different light with regards to this, because she is now seeking seeking to sue the London police for doing what they did.
That's
was
bullshit.
it attending the home? Was it attending the home to a potential mass shooting event? Okay, I wouldn't justify that.
Nope.
Was it the fact that they were dead naming her? Okay, maybe.
But in your words, they didn't know. So how is that even dead naming if they don't know? Do you know, it's actually kind of funny because I'll have like people come to my work, and in one of our systems, it always pulls an old name for whatever reason. It's just like a dinosaur system. So it pulls an old name. So then I'll say the name and they're like, that's not my name. That hasn't been my name in 10 years. I'm like, I'm really sorry. And they get so offended by it. If someone were to call me by one of my old last names, I would just be like, oh, that's not accurate. Why are you having such a fit about it? Like, okay, yes, that's not who I am anymore. Okay. So you just correct them. You don't have to be a freaking psycho about it and get all freaking uppity. Like, just, that's not correct. This is the correct one. Oh, okay. Carry on.
All right. So the reason why I bring up this story, and you know what? If the cops were behaving inappropriately, they were acting outside the law and outside of their policies. Yeah, okay, I agree. Hold them accountable for it. But what do you do in those positions? Like I've called our local RCMP and said, hey, just so you know, we talk about controversial things. So if you get a report about this address and these people, I've already made those precautions. Give us a call. Here's our phone numbers. I would like for you still to attend just in case. But at least give us a call. Let us know, because we have dogs and one will attack you. So, maybe not the best thing to let everyone know that, but the thing is, I've already taken those steps in order to ensure that, yeah, you know what? Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So the reason why I bring this up is, of course, Jagmeet Singh, our favorite punching bag, because if the guy isn't a walking contradiction, I don't know what is. I really don't. So he had tweeted out, trans folk, especially trans activists, deserve the freedom to make themselves heard. not to be doxxed, and swatted, arrested at gunpoint, and dead named repeatedly. No one deserves this. Support trans activists. And then he links to her Twitter account. So he's already mislabeling what the police had done. He absolutely twisted it in order to push a narrative. And especially trans activists. Oh boy, we're going to get into the walking hypocrisy that this piece of shit is. Maybe I should steal that from Crowder. What a piece of shit. But you already see what is the left doing when they don't get their way. They start name calling. That's immediately what they start doing.
100%.
Let me prove my point. This is from the CBC. Singh tried to get all parties of the House of Commons to agree to a motion recognizing the existence of systemic racism in the RCMP. The motion asked MPs to support a review of the MP's budget to demand the RCMP release all its blah, blah, blah. Okay? What did he say? So we have this little clip from the CBC. So just, what did he call them when he didn't get unanimous support on this?
The only way you're ever going to know what you're made of is by heading into the big, wild, raging, so damn beautiful it hurts world and finding out for yourself.
Sorry, guys.
The new
freaking ad popped up here.
Made for what you're made of.
So you got to use Brave. Got to use Brave, baby.
I also have a unanimous consent motion.
It started with a motion on systemic racism in the National Police Force.
As several Indigenous people have died at the hands of the RCMP in recent months.
But it went nowhere when the Bloc Québécois stopped it from going ahead.
No, okay, we don't have a unanimous consent, I'm afraid.
That isn't unusual. What followed is. An angry Jagmeet Singh called Bloc MP Alain Tarian racist.
Whoa.
Tarian, sitting in the bottom right of your screen, let others speak for him as the Bloc demanded an apology. Saying this is unacceptable, but no apology came. Instead, Singh doubled down.
Okay.
Singh's refusal to apologize was a breach of parliamentary rules, so the speaker kicked him out.
All right, I think that's made the point. Okay, that's immediately the position that the left has decided to take. When you don't agree with me, then I am going to use insults and epitaphs in order to discredit anything that you say or anything that you support.
Well, yeah, he learned that from his boy Trudeau there. When every time someone said something to him, it's right away, they're Nazi sympathizers, they're this, they're that. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm. So with regards to this, so let's look at from the National Observer. Jagmeet Singh, when he calls for emergency debate in Ottawa trucker occupation. What does he say? What we need to do is provide solutions. We need to bring people together. And that's what I'm hoping to do with the emergency debate. Do you remember? I think it was in LA, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. Mind you, it's been 2 years. So you'll forgive me if I don't get all the details exactly correct. But there was I believe it was a TV or a movie personality was saying about Antifa or BLM, like, hey, good job on protesting those in those neighborhoods. Well, what did BLM and Antifa do? They found out where he lived and they started to protest where he lived. You know what this piece of shit said? He says, don't protest here. Go where the poor people are.
What?
Yeah.
Are you go where the poor people are? Where verbatim what he said.
Let me see if I can find it. Actor calls BLM riots. See if I can. But while I try and find this.
Wow. That's freaking low.
Oh, where the poor people are. The people have made the mistake about celebrities who are loudly supporting BLM.
needed Jamie.
No, but you're seeing don't remember who the actor was, or some prominent individual. If I can find it, I'll link it in the bottom. But so you see the two sides. When it is his side, oh well, we need to have a place to provide solutions. When they don't agree with you, name call, belittle. And so he continues, we need to take this seriously. This was with regards to the trucking convoy in Ottawa. Okay? So he just said, we need to provide solutions to bring people together. Well, weird, because the next thing he says is, we need to take this seriously. They're terrorizing and intimidating citizens and people. Instead of what a regular protest does, focus on the government and government decisions. Organizers have made it clear their intentions is to overthrow the government.
Oh, was that what the intentions were? That was the message? Oh.
Yeah.
It's new.
They are harassing citizens. Nope. I hate to tell you, brother, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. There were people that were lying the whole thing. The homeless were so well fed. They've been better fed than they ever have been. The streets have been cleaner. There was no instance there was no reports of any type of violence. Only thing that happened were people were honking. Well, they got an injunction to stop the honking, and they stopped.
What? They listened and they stopped?
Yeah. They're harassing citizens. They're threatening people, assaulting people. This is a violent and dangerous action that is causing really severe consequences. Mm-hmm.
There was no assaults. There was none. The only assaults that ever happened was when the RCMP came in and started plowing people down.
Yeah. Well, it's weird that okay, so this is the position when the Canadian government is taken to task. Oh, what is this from Can India? The Sikh origin leader of Canada's NDP, who is now condemning a trucker strike in Ottawa, has staunchly supported the farmers' protest in India last year. Oh,
of course.
A little bit of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So if anyone that doesn't know, so this was a protest in India, and I actually spoke with some people that were in Canada were supporting this protest. And they were protesting that they wanted the government basically to control wheat prices so that they can actually make money instead of them getting priced out. Okay, there's a lot more to it, and I've condensed it super far down, but that's the gist of what they're arguing.
That's when a lot of people, they were like on their vehicles and stuff like that. It said no farmers, no food, stuff like that, right? Yeah. Okay.
Weird, because now that's happening in Canada. You've seen in the Netherlands, oh, no farmers, no food. Oh, well, the Netherlands did it, and Justin Trudeau goes, damn, that seems like a good fucking idea. My God.
Right.
But so this was from the CBC. So for 364 days, not 3 weeks, Hardeep Singh has cooked for his fellow protesters at a sprawling camp on the outskirts of Delhi, while others tend to the rice and wheat crops of his farm some 100 kilometers away. Okay. He endured cold winters, followed by the shift of stifling heat and record-breaking monsoon rains. 3 times a tent harboring his community kitchen was ripped by violent storms. 3 times he had to patch it up. Nearly a year they were protesting the government. He supported it. He supported 364 days. It's like that actor saying, no, go over there. Go over there and protest. Don't protest in my backyard. Don't do that here. He supported them, but on the other side, he couldn't.
What a hypocritical piece of poop.
Well, and if you look at the approval ratings, the NDP has only gone down. They have only gone down in support. This is a washed up loser place. This is back on July 20th. If we have this little thing from Abacus Data.
Well, where can you see what the colors mean?
Well, red is liberal.
Okay.
Blue is conservative.
Okay.
Orange is the NDP. 19% is how they're looking at. He's gone down. He's only gone down. So I wanted to give this last word to sum this whole thing up. So you're seeing a lot. You see the duplicity in the rhetoric, in the mislabeling, in how events took place. It's good on one side, but it's not good on the other. That's what we call tyranny. Again, It's not that we have laws. It's whether those laws are applied equally. And if you're allowed to say, hey, white people, I'm going to shoulder check you as I walk down the street. Well, then if I say Asian people or black people, Aboriginal, throw in any... If I see another gay flag, I'm going to shoulder check the person that's carrying it.
Right.
That sounds pretty bigoted. Yeah, and you'd be 100% right.
But it's funny because like we live in a society now where it's okay for people who have different pigment on their skin to be racist against the white people.
No, just to be racist.
Okay, yes. It's okay for them to be racist, just period. But yet we're supposed to be fighting racism, stopping racism. But yet it's like, no. It's just
enough. It's not enough to not being racist. You have to be actively anti-racist.
Yeah, like
so I figured I'd give the last word to Keffals here, Clara. Honestly, I hope he gets swatted. I was gonna leave it with her, but I figured I'd give Jagmeet the some of the last words.
Was she saying that about Jagmeet?
No, this was last year that she was hoping someone else gets swatted.
Oh.
So now the position that she's in, she hoped that on someone else. So,
karma, bitch.
So contrary to his present stance on disruption, Singh had supported protests by a section of farmers in India. And he had said, I am deeply concerned about the violence against farmers in India. Those calling to harm farmers must be held accountable. And the right to peaceful protest must be protected. I am calling on Justin Trudeau to condemn the violence immediately. Really? What is this? Ooh. Isn't that crazy, hey? I think he summed it up perfectly. I am deeply concerned about the violence against farmers. Yeah, I'm deeply concerned about the violence against peaceful protesters in Canada. Yep. I demand that those in Canada calling to harm farmers must be held accountable. You mean like saying that they're trying to overthrow the government, that they're domestic terrorists, right? Right? Something like that?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and peaceful protests must be protected. Yeah, you must condemn the violence. Unless it's your boyfriend, I suppose. But, yeah, good job. Good job. I love it. All right, if anything else, we did have this last article that, of course, Ottawa police didn't actually, didn't need the Emergencies Act. And the Ottawa police were actually working with the Freedom Convoy, the protesters, and the federal government said nay. No. How dare you actually try to resolve this peacefully? No, we gotta stomp this out now. So, you know what? Good job. Welcome to tyranny. Welcome to the bullshit that is the Canadian government, the hypocrisy that they are.
With him, it's literally all about making a statement and a point out of somebody. Oh, you're going to go against me? Oh, you're going to come protest? Oh, I'll show you. And of course, he just has to make everybody look bad and stuff like that. Like, it's just,
he makes himself look bad.
Gets his little feelings hurt and right away has to start going and attacking people. So,
yeah. So that's, yep. Good job. Great job. All right. With that, I think let's get the hell out of here.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to come sit with us and listen to some of the craziness going on in the world today, this week. Hope everybody's had a good week. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch you again on Monday. And don't forget to check us out in all the places listed in the description box below. Other than that, we out. Bye.